work in the area of post-harvest technology. At the moment, we have built in it's called Traore smoking cane. It's going to help to put the harvest on the table instead of spoiling on time. The Traore smoking cane, we built 6 now. We just completed one around Adamawa. And we'll continue to train gear development to look for a better gear in the area of the massa. The massa is a bottom trunk. We'll find out that because of the laziness of the aerostatic function of the gear, we're able to really work on the flotation aspect by reducing the sinker at the moment. And that has really helped in the output when it comes to the industrial sector.
I saw what you're doing. I saw how the kind of teaching staff that you have in there. And I believe that institution can do more than you're doing now. In what way do you think this committee, particularly our chairman, can be of assistance to that institution?
With the activities of the local fishermen, most of these streams and rivers are drying up of fishes, and I don't see any deliberate action being taken by your ministry in prosecuting or reporting those who are using chemicals to poison the waters, and which will go a long way in harming people who are also drinking from these streams and rivers. What is your organizations doing to forestall this? Because fish is becoming scarce. The more scarce it becomes, the more costly it is on the table, and it's becoming worse. People are resorting into some of these imported as fish that we are told are being preserved by harmful chemicals that are used for other things to preserve either corpses or whatever.
Culture fisheries. Now, one of the distribution is now discuss something on that people use to capture fish and the chemicals or something. The college is invited thoroughly on aquaculture aspect, so that the lakes and rivers are being replenished back with many species. Particularly, one of my research during my research in the University of Maiduguri, I make a fish species composition in Lake Alo. Yes, Alo is just a nearby lake near to Maiduguri, 6 or 7 kilometers away. So in that now, the amount of species that are left, particularly tilapia, when you say tilapia now, it's just one tilapia. It's more than about 15 species of tilapia during that time. But now only 3 remaining on that layer due to overfishing. So that's why we embarked on the aquaculture teaching. Even last year, during one of our training, manpower training of women and youth, fishermen, we normally also teach them how to capture the fish, not by chemicals, but there are a lot of means of this. And also in collaboration with the State Fisheries Department of Fisheries in the also we collaborate with the State Department of Fisheries and Federal Department of Fisheries in the state to highlight on the practice of the culture system, particularly using small mesh-sized fish, not only chemicals, major problem. Small mesh-sized nets to capture including all the eggs. So that is one of our mandate of the college is to teach them how to capture fish, but not to capture fish.
We're fortunate that we now have a ministry that specifically focused on the blue economy sector. And the organogram of that ministry, which the head of service has recently consented to, has a department that will specifically monitor and focus on this kind of issues. We have already gotten to the point where we want to start the process for implementing even regimental fishing, so that fishermen don't fish throughout the year. There are some times of the year that you actually allow for regeneration. It will take some effort at capacity building, sensitization, and contacts with the local community, such that they understand government means well for them and their livelihood. Once government is able to support this sector as we expect, we will get the right results.
To another, and with the problems of budgeting, how are you going to really make this really operate well? Because if there is no proper coordination, no control, how is it going to be operationally?
We're optimistic. We know very well that transitions in this climb are sometimes bedeviled by inertia, but ultimately we will get there. We've had constructive engagements, even with the Ministry of Agric, but it's not even the Ministry of Agric that is perhaps the problem. The budget is there. The department has been extricated and transferred to us. We can't seem to put our hands in their deep. They can't also just take it and give to us. So it's some of those challenges of bureaucracy. I believe by the intervention and the support and cooperation of this august body, and of course the entire project process that is going on now, 2025, this should be behind us.
To support this ministry as a committee, sir, to ensure that stock assessment is carried out in this country. We've not done national stock assessment for a very long time. In doing stock assessment, I use many of my years at sea as a captain. In doing stock assessment, we should be able to know what we have here at a place. Right from Nigeria to Calabar, River Calabar, cross to River Cameroon, we should be able to determine the species that we have, whether it's a pelagic species or demersal species. In other words, knowing this, we enable us to formulate a particular policy to determine whether there will be a moratorium, how many, where do we fish, what quantity can we catch at a particular time. In addition to that, my chairman, sir, we should also have what is called, we don't have it well spread, environmental sensitive index, ESI. I never knew we're actually going to go and do this presentation. We have provided slides for this. And if we do proper ESI, that will tackle what my distinguished senator from National just mentioned. If there's any pollutant, it's going to be identified, and the traces also can be found.
Is there any deliberate effort or is there any policy of government that helps to replenish or replace stock, even as local as some of the local ponds or rivers are not? Because in the past, I'm aware of even a lake that is not even moving. How a particular, I call it, agency of government or a state were coming back to restock the place so that
as people are fishing there, it will not come to an end of activity.
The government is the sole funder of the institute, and today one of the most outstanding achievements of the institute remains the pioneering work of the breeding of the catfish. Today you have so many households breeding catfish at their backyards, in their farms, all to the pioneering effort and work done in the institute, which has now made it a very good source of income for most families that are in water-right areas. Also, we have of recent times developed a kind of hybrid smoking kiln, but this one dries most because we are using both electricity and charcoal to dry the fish, and the product is really very good, but the only problem now is having the fish to process is the limiting factor, because while we are clamoring to have food security, most fish farms are shrinking. They are closing because the cost of fish feed is increasing on weekly basis. We have now recruited some engineers who are to look into some engineering aspects of the fisheries component. So we now have a fingertip counting machine that is almost at conclusion. It was concluded, but we discovered that the sensor has some limitations, because if 2 passes, it may count it as 1. So it cannot be accurate. For that inaccuracy, we have to order some parts from China. It has arrived. They are just fixing it to test run. So as soon as that is completed, we now have a fingerling counting machine instead of this stressful way of using hands to count, which is very stressful to the counter itself and the fingerlings. And we also have now a multi-parameter kit for measuring water qualities. This was a project of one of our PhD candidates, but the university disallowed him to bring it to the institute.
I'm saying that generally it's the high cost of feed that is the issue.
Yes, sir.
Either it's for fingerlings, roosters, or whatever.
Yes, sir.
But that is the challenge. Why don't you invest in the research for processing? Low cost feed for. Since you are a research institute.
Yes, sir. We have started some works on working on it to see how we can use it to reduce the cost of feeding. If you can use the maggot, say, once in a day to feed the catfish, then for the tilapia and other herbivorous species, we are also working on duckweed and azolla. You harvest and you put it in their ponds and you take it.
With this equipment, if NIMASA is able to give us the accreditation, all those our graduates that travel out of the country, they will be retained in the college for this kind of training on the use of simulator. On the terms of challenges the college is having is still on this marine simulator. They are very, very expensive. The college, just like I said, would be able to acquire the full bridge mission simulator for nautical science students. But the college is also desirous to get a full engine mission simulator for marine engineers, which they need for them to have a better quality training in terms of marine engineering skills. So if we are able to get this equipment, I believe that the college will have a better trained marine engineer that will be able to man the vessels we have in our territorial waters and outside the country. So the college also in their need of new hostels. Because of the new programs we have, our student population has more than doubled.
though the college built about 100 room hostel, which are about 500 and something rooms, but this because of the geometrical increase in the student population, all the rooms are filled up now. So this year's admission is progressing, and the number of students we are having is also going to increase. We need new hostel to accommodate the increasing number of students we are having for the next academic session.
We are dealing with production of food. We should concentrate on hatcheries, how you can hatch fish and then sell them to small-scale farmers, large-scale farmers. Generally speaking, this is what we expect you to do. Because if you do that, it will drastically reduce food inflation in the country. And that's the whole idea of setting up these colleges of fisheries and Institute of Agriculture, so the Institute of Oceanography and Marine Science, how to boost food production. In addition to the study will help to also produce more fish for the country. If you do that, you go a long way in saving our production, bringing shipload of fish, and then selling into our market. Particularly freshwater fish is even more healthy than the one from the sea, from what we had. So I don't know to what extent you can produce enough fingerlings which can be distributed to small-scale farmers all over the country.
Fishery and aquaculture is geared towards boosting fish production. There are two sides to it, fishery and the aquaculture sides. Both sides are important. The ministry is mindful of it. But one side we must take immediate steps about is the issue of conservation and the management of our natural resources. The ministry's ultimate goal is to reduce fish importation and get to a level of sustenance that we can also export more. So we're focusing on all sides of it, the entire spectrum. It's important to grow and develop fingerlings and be able to commercialize the process so that the people can take maximum advantage and live themselves out of poverty. The other side is also that the ministry must not lose focus on the natural endowment and maintain it and ensure that it is kept at a level that can sustain generations to come. So in a nutshell, we note the fact that our major focus is to boost fish production and win this country off major importation of protein.
So that they can participate actively in food production and improve food security. And even our construction projects, we earmark a large amount of money for this kind of training. Where people go far to set up fish farms where people can be trained. I have one. I can boast this is close to about maybe 10,000 kilograms, for example. Because I have a very big fish farm. So that's why I'm asking all these questions. And this transactions I'm asking you, I want to buy it from the buyer and transport it to Kevin. And I was told that I have to hire a trailer, get like 400 drums, put the fingerlings and transport them to my farm. But if there is a safer way of doing transportation, I would appreciate it to hear from you.
Please. So we are working on a species that is better than the one you are talking about, because this one we are working on is the heterotis, that is the badly. The problem we have been having over the years is determination of the sex. Right now we have sent a student with his PhD on that. Somebody did it before until he concluded he couldn't have any easy way of saying, if you look at this, you know it's a male, or this is a female. No. So that remains a major problem, and that is why we still rely on the wild collection. But now there's a deliberate studies to actually know how to identify the sexes. The cost of feeding them is cheaper because they are herbivorous.
Yeah.
And they grow bigger.
Correct.
Because if you are able to keep the heterotis for 3-4 years, the size you will see is unimaginable. Just like the Cesarinus.
Yeah.
But I saw one that couldn't be that. I nearly ran away from Yauli. They have to use this wheelbarrow
Yes.
to push the thing. But because of our irrational exploitation,
Yes.
the use of undersized meshes,
Yes.
chemicals, and so many nauseous methods,
Yes.
we are emulating these things at very tender ages, at fingerling sizes, and it's affecting our ecosystem. In one of the campaigns we launched around the lake was on this rational exploitation of the use of this Dala beach slim. See, that is just a mosquito net, and the net can be as much as from here to almost outside this place. So anything they come in contact with is brought out. The ones that are usable will be used. The ones that are usable are thrown away and they are gone. So there is no this ethics of catch and release. So this code of conduct for responsible fisheries will actually have to put some more money to enlighten.
Are you making any contribution to the consolidated revenue account of the government now? Are you making profit and transferring that profit to the consolidated revenue account of the government? I want to know. And then thereafter, ask what I want.
They are not particularly revenue making bodies. I would imagine that some revenues will accrue to government offers from their operations. It may not be substantial, but by their mandate, they are not. If we do the needful, for instance, with Neoma, if we do the needful with Neoma, and Neoma conducts stock assessment regularly, that data can be commercialized to make money for government.
We expect these agencies to make profit, okay, revenues, and contribute to the consolidated revenue account of the federal government. You are not sufficiently funded, and I think you need to bring that to the fore, okay? That is why I asked that question. Now, as it is today, the products, your activities are specialized activities, okay? And you can commercialize them, like you say. You can commercialize your end products, okay, the fisheries or the boats, and you can commercialize them. But you need that sufficient funding to be able to go into large-scale production, okay, break even and make profit, and then contribute to the federal government consolidated account. And I think you should bring that to the law economic chairman.
On this one, like I said, a written brief from all the agencies should be brought in the next, how many days or weeks do you want? 2 weeks. See, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So that will be all. Adjournment.
I move.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.